Hey y'all. Today's objective is multiplying binomials. We just went over adding and subtracting, and so now we're going to spend some time multiplying polynomials.
Alright, so we have two methods. The first method is the distributive property. We're going to show you in more detail about what you're going to do, but pretty much you take each term in your first polynomial and you distribute it to every term in the second one. So you take 2x and you're going to multiply it by x, and then 2x times 4, and then you're going to do 3 times x and then 3 times 4, and we'll show you in more detail on the next slide.
And the other method is going to be new. It's called the box method, and it's another kind of a version of distributing, but it puts it together in an organized area. And so you put your polynomial numbers on the outside, and then you're going to multiply them and put your answers on the inside. So it's just another way.
So the first property, same problem that was written on the previous slide, is the distributive property. So the first thing you do is distribute. You're going to take this term here and multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. So 2x times x is going to be 2x squared. Remember, when we multiply, we add our exponents. And then 2x times 4 is 8x. So plus 8x because it's positive. Then you come to the second term and you do 3 times x, which is a positive 3x. And then 3 times 4 is positive 12.
So that was the distributing, which you distributed when you solved equations, but now we're not solving an equation, we are multiplying polynomials. We're going to combine like terms. And like terms mean they have to have the same variable and the same exponent. So while these have x's, this has an x squared. So you can only combine it with other x squareds. We can combine these two terms, 8x plus 3x, because they both have the same variable and the same exponent. 8x plus 3x is going to be 11x. And then we see if we can combine anything else, and we cannot. So we just bring everything else down. Plus 12 and 2x squared.
And then this is your final answer. It's in standard form. Your exponents are going in decreasing order, and you don't have anything else to combine. And you're done.
So that was the distributive property. So we're going to show you the same example using the box method. So we know that our answer should be 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. So here's the same problem using the box method. We put our terms on the outside, and then the answers, when you multiply, go on the inside.
Alright, so just as a reminder, this is what we're multiplying together. Alright, so this is where Ms. Handler got 2x and positive 3, and then x and 4 are the terms in your polynomial. So then you just multiply the column and rows together and write the answer on the inside. So 2x times x, 2 times 1 is 2, and x times x is x squared. Then 3 times x is just 3x. 2x times 4 is 8x. And 3 times 4 is 12.
And again, after you've multiplied, you combine like terms. And in the box method, the like terms are going to be diagonal from each other. Well, one way diagonal this way. These are not like terms. But this way diagonal, and again, when you add 3x and 8x, you're going to get 11x. You can't combine anything with 2x squared, 2x squared, and then your plus 12. So we still get the same answer using the box method.
So we wanted to stress that we're showing you two different ways, and you are to choose whichever way you like the best. Both ways work for any type of problem. So we're going to do more examples. This is a monomial times a trinomial, and I will do distributive and Ms. Handler will do box.
Now with this problem, because this is just a monomial, the distributive may just be quicker and easier, but I'm going to show you how to do the box method also.
Alright, so 5x times x squared, so 5 times 1 is just 5, and then you need to add your exponent, that's x to the third. 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x squared. And then 5 times 2 is positive 10x. So this should be your final answer.
And to do the box method, I have one term here, and I have 3 in my trinomial. So my box is not going to be a 2 by 2. It's going to be a 1 by 3. Because I have one term here, and then I have 3 terms here. Notice I put my negative, because it was minus, I have to put my negative right there. And then we're going to multiply. 5x times x squared is going to be 5x to the 3rd power, like Ms. Barnes said. You add your exponents. 5x times negative 3x is going to be negative 15x squared. 5x times 2 is 10x. I look to see if I have anything that I can combine, and I cannot, so my final answer is 5x cubed minus 15x squared plus 10x. And the same thing that Ms. Barnes got using the distributive method.
Alright, so we're going to do number 3.
Ms. Barnes is going to show you the box method, and I'll show you the distributive.
Okay. So you're going to base the number of boxes you need based off of how many terms you have in each. So up and down, I need 2, and across I need 3. So this box is actually going to be a little bit longer. And you're going to have x squared and positive 3. Over here you have 5x to the 4th, negative 3x squared, and then negative 5. You're just putting each term as a title of a column or a row. And then we're just going to multiply. X squared times 5x to the 4th. Well, 5 times 1 is 5. And x squared and x to the 4th would then become x to the 6th. And then x squared times negative 3x would be negative 3x to the 4th. X squared times negative 5 would be negative 5x squared. 5x to the 4th times 3 is 15x to the 4th. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9x squared. And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So once I finish multiplying everything in my box, which is pretty much simple, then I need to look for like terms. And usually in your box, your like terms are in the diagonal. And in this particular case, I have 2 diagonals that are alike. So I'm going to write down 5x to the 6th. Combine these two. 15 minus 3 is 12.
That's okay.
And negative 9 and negative 5 is negative 14 x squared minus 15.
And just a few things. And when we added and subtracted, we put in replacement. We put in like little zeros sometimes if you didn't have a term. She was good teaching. Turn the light on and close the door. Okay, pause. We'll come back.